To travel between two cities, we need some form of transportation like walking, cycling, or driving. In a similar way, to transfer data between a Java program and a database, we need a way to communicate. Once a connection is established, we use a component called the statement interface to send SQL queries to the database. In this video, we will learn how to use statement to execute basic database operations like create, insert, and select. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand how to use statement to interact with the database from a Java program. For this demonstration, I'm going to use Eclipse IDE and MySQL Database, and source code I will leave it in the description. I'm in my Eclipse IDE now. I will create a project. Go to File, choose New, and click on Project. And click on Next, and I will name it as Statement in JDBC. In the src folder, I will create a package com.db. Here I will take a class statement demo. Our statement demo class is ready. I will take a main method. In the main method, I will take URL, username, and password that we required to connect with MySQL database. Here the values for username and password, you have to give your own database details or else it will throw an exception. Use class.forName to load the driver. Class.forName will throw an checked exception, that is class not found exception. We have to handle it. Just click on surround with try catch. It will generate auto-generated code that handles the exception. This loads the MySQL driver. This MySQL driver will be present in the MySQL connector jar file. We have to add it to the class path of our project. Right click on the project, go to build path, choose configure build, click on class path, add external jars. I have a MySQL connector jar in my desktop. You have to download it if you haven't got one and add it to the project. After loading the driver, now we have to connect with the database. For that, I will use driver manager.getConnection method to establish the connection and store it in the con variable. Import connection interface, and driver manager.getConnection method will throw an SQL exception, which is checked exception. We have to choose add exception to the existing catch class. So SQL exception will be added to the existing catch block. After establishing the connection, now we have to create object for statement interface. There is a method in connection interface called create statement. The create statement will return a statement object. We have to import statement. Choose import from java.sql package. If you choose the other packages, it will throw an exception. We use connection to store the connection with the database, and the statement, we use statement to execute any queries with the database. Here the first task is to create a table in MySQL database. For that we need a query. Let me write the query. After creating the query, we need something to execute this query from Java program to MySQL database. This is where we use statement. So statement has a method execute update. If we execute the method will take the query to the Oracle, to the MySQL database, and it will run and it will return the results. This execute update method will return an integer, but we don't need that at the moment. So after this, I will print a message table is created. If there is any error in table creation, the try block will immediately send an exception to catch block. So after this error, the remaining code which is table is created, will not be printed. That is the reason I have created here table is created. If it is printing, which means there is no error and the table is created successfully. So after creating the table, our next task is to insert data into the table. Let me write 2 queries to insert 2 records. I have created 2 records to insert into table. If we have to execute these 2 queries in the database, again we have to use the statement. We have to use a execute update method, so that execute update method will take them to the database and run the queries and return the results. If there is no error while executing the method, which means the control will come to the next line. So here I will write records are inserted. After inserting the record, the next task is to retrieve the data. I will write a query to retrieve the data. Now to execute this query, again we have to use statement method of execute query. This time we have to use execute query. In statement, we have basically 2 methods to execute database queries. First one is execute update method and second one is execute query method. We use execute query method to get the data for retrieval operations, and we use execute update method for insertion, creation and retrieving. So here, as we are getting the data from database, we have to use execute query method. If we do not use the proper methods while inserting the data or retrieving the data, there will be an exception. So this execute query method will return a result set. Let us store it in the result set object. So result set is an interface from Java.SQL package. We have to import it. If you are not sure how to use the result set, I will give a video link in the description or in the I tab. You can watch it. So the result set will hold the table data as it is. Let me try to print it by using the while loop. rs.next method will check for any records. If there are records existing, it will move the cursor to the first record, and now we will start printing from the first record. So the first value is id. I will try to print id. rs.getInt. id is integer type, so that's why I use getInt method. And here the column name is id. Just write id. So here it will print the id value. After printing the id value, give a space, concat strings to give space and add a hyphen. After this, I will print the name value. Name value is a string type, so we have to use getString method. Write getString. So here column value is name. Just write name. After that, print space and hyphen. Here we have to print age value. Age is an integer type, so use getInt. That's it. It will print the first line. After that, the control will go back to while loop. rs.next method will be executed. If there is second record available, it will take inside the while loop and second record will be printed. Like that, all the records will be printed. Before printing the records, here I will just print a message in a new line, table data. Because our last message was records are inserted. If there is no new line, they will mix up. So after a new line, I will write table data and then table data will be printed. Let me run this program. Save all changes before you run the program. Run as Java application. So here you can see in console, table is created, records are inserted, table data is whatever the data that we are inserting, it is giving us as it is. And let me show you my MySQL workbench. So this is Ganesh database. Here currently I am only having student table. If I refresh it, the users table will be updated. So here we have users. So here I will write the query. Here you can see the results, ID, name, age values are printing here. Now we will see the execution flow of the application. First, the program starts from the main method. Next, the database details, URL, username and password are created and kept in memory. After that, the MySQL driver is loaded using class.forName. This step makes sure Java can talk to the database. Then driver manager.getConnection method is called using the URL, username and password. This method connects to the database, checks the login details and creates a connection. It gives back a connection object which we store in con variable. Next, we call createStatement method using the connection. This creates a statement object. This object helps us send SQL queries to the database and we store it in the stm variable. Now we write a SQL query to create a table. Then we call executeUpdate method. This method sends the query to the database and runs it. So the users table is created and we print a message saying table created. Next, we write insert queries. Then we again use executeUpdate method for each query. Each time the query is sent to the database and the records are added to the table. After that, we print a message saying records inserted. Now we write a select query to get the data. Then we call executeQuery. This method runs the select query and gives the result as a result set, which we store in rs variable. Next, we start a loop using while rs.next. The next method moves to the next row and checks if more data is available. For each row, we get the values using getInt and getString methods. These methods read data from the current row. Then we print each record. After all rows are finished, the loop stops. Finally, the program ends. If you have any doubts, comment them in the comment box. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.